Well, hello there. My name is Josh Packard. I want to talk to you today about the godless agenda that's going on in the world today. We know it as liberals or leftists or even right wing. I'm gonna put them in there too because we're not. Those of us who are conservative are not right wing or left wing. We're actually centrist because we believe everybody's rights come from God and they're inalienable. That I don't care what color you are, male or female, you have the same rights as I do because God says so. They can't be taken away, and I cannot dictate to them, to you. I can't tell you what your rights are because God already has given you those rights, and I can't take them away. The problem is now we have right wing and left wing. So right wingers say that I'm superior to you, therefore I can legislate. You're stupid. I'm smart. I can do what I want, and I'll give you the rights which I think that you should be afforded, according to my opinion, of course. The left wings, because we've oppressed them, they can go ahead and kill us and give us whatever dictates they want. They can give us whatever rights they see fit according to what they think. So it's always one side or the other. Both sides lose because one way or the other, it's going to be a dictatorship, right wing or left wing. It's going to be fascism either way. So I'm here to tell you today, what the liberals are doing is they're sowing wickedness into you. They're doing this, and right wing too. The people that are fear mongers, the ones that are rabble rousers, what they're doing is they want you to be godless. They want you to be without hope. They want you to be doing the things which bring wrath upon your life and on your family and on your neighborhood. They want you to do this because what happens is now there's this oppression abiding on you that you don't know how it got there, but it's there. You can feel this in your chest. You can feel it in your heart. You feel this God-shaped hole. You don't realize it's God, that it goes in that spot. But I'm here to tell you it is. God is the only one that can satisfy that heart, Jesus Christ. So, what I want you to see is they're pushing the homosexual agenda upon you. They're pushing the LGBTQ agenda upon you. They're pushing these things. Just 1.2% of the population of these people that subscribe to this stuff. It's a very small portion of people, but they've garnered a lot of acknowledgement. And if you agree with them, you might as well be one of them. It's the way it works in this. Jesus says if you're angry with your brother, you've committed murder. And so what you're being told is that these people hate you, those people hate you, and so you're angry against them all the time. Look at how mad you people are. Look at what you do, all these riots and all this Antifa and BLM, and you have all these special interest groups that are only there because you feel oppressed. Well, I've got news for you. Your leaders, like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the Clintons, Barack Obama, all these people, they push godlessness upon you so that you would go about to establish your own oppression, not realizing it, and then they would give you somebody to blame for your oppression. So that's why you think that there's income inequity. You believe that white people and black have privilege over black people or colored people. You believe that murdering your own baby is right. You believe that homosexuality is good. You think it's love is love. You think all this stuff. Well, the thing is that every one of these things God commands is evil, and that you will suffer the consequences for adhering to these teachings and living your life as though God was not in control. So what you've done is you've elevated yourself to the position of God, and you've decided what's good for your life over what God has said. I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, and I don't care. But you were not born a homosexual. Sex is not who you are. The thing that you have sex with doesn't mean what you are. I'm sorry, guys. I've had sex with lots of things. It doesn't mean I'm straight and I choose to be straight. I want to have a family and children, and I want to bless my world around me. I don't want to do the things which bring about oppression in myself. Every now and then I'll slip with porn. I don't want to. I don't, you know what I mean? I wish porn was not here anymore. I wish we didn't have it. I wish there was some way that we could fight against it and not have it, where I'd have to, if it's there, then at least make it to where I have to fight to get to it. But they don't want it that way. They want it at your fingertips, because by you practicing and dabbling in it, it sows corruption into your heart and in your family. Same thing with marijuana. It by itself is not that big a deal, but when you start putting it together with all these other godless acts you're doing, it's going to keep improving that big feeling of oppression in yourself. And you'll keep getting angry, and because you will not acknowledge God as being right, and you will not acknowledge yourself as having sinned against God, that oppression keeps growing, and you have to be more wicked and more wicked and more wicked in order to even feel anything anymore. But yet that God-shaped hole will just keep enlarging in your chest, until you finally come to the place to realize that the way I'm going is evil, that it is my fault, that this is the feeling that I feel upon myself. This is me that did this, but the ones that convinced me were the ones that started when I was a little child in my school, that taught me about secular humanism and a religion that you didn't even know you were being taught. You're being taught that evolution is the truth. Evolution is a complete joke. If you ever want to come and sit and talk with me sometime, I'll show you. It's so easy to see. You guys got to understand, you've been taught a lie in order so that you may be controlled by those who oppress you. And you've succumbed to it. And you're underneath that oppression. And the evidence is the fact that you're so angry all the time, that you're going out and raping and looting and pillaging and all the time you're out there, protesting and all this other stuff. And it's for what? And so you say there's this income inequality. So what? I'm a construction worker. I work really hard all the time. I don't make squat, you guys, but I'm happy because I enjoy my life. I've chosen to be grateful for everything I have. I'm not going to blame you that I don't make any more money. It's my fault because I could have went and got it. I could work harder. I could go out and find another career. I can start my own business. I can do lots of things. The sky is the limit. It's on me, the amount of money I make. You guys? You gotta understand, I could go out and have an affair with my wife. I could do that, but I don't want to do that because it'll destroy my family. My kids are depending on me, and my neighbors. The sanctity of marriage needs to be upheld, and people need to regard it with great holiness and great regard. And that this is something that should be protected because it is the foundation of our society. You guys got to understand. You've got to live to protect other people. You've got to live to look out for them in order for you to be able to see where the joy in life is. And I'm here to tell you right now, I didn't get married till I was 38 years old. Didn't have kids until I was 42. Yeah, 42 years old. So the reason being is I thought kids were a burden. I bought into the whole lie, and women were feminists. And so I was mad at women. So I just used them for, recreational hooking up. But I wouldn't get close to them. I just use them and leave them because, first of all, they allowed me to. But second, because I had no respect for them. And I thought that they were all junk because I saw this feminist crap going on everywhere. Well, the thing is that I didn't realize that I was junk. You know what I mean? I was the one that was screwed up. I was the one that was unwilling to commit. I was the one that was not marriageable. And God protected me. And any woman that would have been with me, God stopped it before it ever went anywhere. And I didn't have any kids to mess up at that point. I mean, who knows? I still might. But you see what I'm saying, you guys? Through the wisdom and through the Lord, I've seen that these are the good things in life. This is where the absolute joy. I'm going to tell you right now, children are the best thing that has ever been in this world. I mean, I love my children more than the world, more than anything. I have never experienced love to the level that I love for my children, and the sense of satisfaction I have coming home to a wife and children every single day and enjoy it, and this joy I have watching them grow and develop, and just and working hard to be able to provide for them and to be here and to know that they're safe, and it's all on me, you guys. And it's the greatest thing that could ever possibly be. And what has happened is they stole so much of my life away because I let them. Because no one told me the truth about the Lord and how wonderful He is. I experimented sexually. I did all kinds of stuff. I've done everything you can do. I've never had sex with a guy, which is okay. But other than that, I've done pretty much about everything else. But I had to because sex was not even enjoyable for me anymore. Because I'd done such wicked things and been so perverted and sexually that I couldn't enjoy it for the longest time. So you guys, I was wicked in every way you can imagine. I hated everybody. I was mad at women because they're feminist and stupid, which they still are, but that doesn't matter. That's not the point. And you keep going through the whole thing. I didn't like black people because they just bitched and moaned all the time. You know what I mean? I just didn't like Mexicans because they're always all the time causing problems where I live. I was consumed with anger, hate. I couldn't get any close to anybody because I was a complete pretending. I was always trying to present myself as what I thought someone wanted to see rather than who I was, so I could never find the people I was meant for. Not my friends, not my wife, not my children. You guys got to see I was a complete hypocrite, pretending from the ground up, doing what I'd been told as though it would work someday, and it never did. but I was just told to work harder and I would eventually get there. And same thing in religion. They tell you the same lie, you guys. The only way out of this is to know the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm going to tell you right now. And call upon him. If you want out of that oppression you feel, rather than fighting and crying and moaning and bitching all the time and letting yourself be ruled by this big giant terror hole in your life and having to medicate yourself with drugs and sex and being in excitement and a lot of these, I like this little Antifa kids and stuff, I guarantee you they're getting a big adrenaline rush out of this. They're actually feeling something. But I bet you it's been a long time since they felt something. You guys, there's so much more to life than to being ruled by your hate and by your anger and being manipulated by your fears and your lusts. It's more, so much more to life, you guys. There's joy and there's peace and there's rest in the Lord. You guys got to come to him. If he does not respond, if you call upon him and ask him to save you and he does not respond, he is not a God worth serving, you guys. I'm here to tell you, he will not let you down if you ask him to save your soul, to save you and to forgive you and to wash you clean and give you a new start. He will do it. And as many times as you need it, he'll do it. You just have to ask on his terms. You can't be like, oh, well, I'll accept you if you do this, this, and this, and this. Say, no, my way has been wrong from the ground up. Will you show me the truth? Will you show me how to surrender to you, Lord? No stipulations, just ask him. That's all I can tell you that I did is I asked. Finally, I asked. And then he showed up in grand splendor. You guys, you have nothing to lose but your fear and your shame and your guilt and your hatred and the things that are killing you, because God will rip away. As you know him and as you become clean in the Lord and as he's transforming you, he will rip away the things you do. I used to do every drug you can imagine. I don't do any. I used to drink. I used to smoke pot. I used to do everything. I don't do anything anymore. Nothing, not any single drug, because I'm just so high in my life. To take a drug, I feel less than what I feel. Like before, I used to have to take a drug just to get a little head change, to get a little bit relief of the suffering I was feeling every day. Well, now if I take drugs, it makes me feel worse than what I feel every day. I feel so wonderful every day. I'm so blessed. I have a wonderful, beautiful wife that I don't deserve. I have 2 beautiful children that I really don't deserve. And God took me, and I should be in death. I should be dead. I'm a worthless pile. I know what I am. And God has given me a new start. And he gave me, not only did he give me a new start, he blessed me 1,000 times more than I've ever been blessed in my life. Every day I thank him for what I have. And I can enjoy, and I can enjoy what I have, and I can enjoy my life, and I can appreciate what I have, you guys. This is the gift I'm trying to get you to see. These people are robbing you by telling you that it's okay to kill your children. It is something that is for feminists, and how this is something that, women should exercise their own right. Women, you murder your own child, you're going to get a massive dose of oppression put upon your body and upon your soul. And anyone that helps you do it is complicit with it, and they will have that too. You got to understand that wickedness will not go away. That grief will not go away. Somewhere, somehow, inside yourself what you did was evil. I'm telling you, homosexuals, what you do is not wrong anything more than anybody else, adultery or anything like that. However, because you cling to it, because you try to say that I was made this way, that this is the way I am, that you're trying to glorify it, the wrath abides upon you. It's there. Simply because you've acknowledged it and you've embraced it. I mean, I know what it's like to struggle with sin, but I don't openly confess this is a good thing. I struggle with porn. I'm not going to advocate someone having porn. I struggle with anger. I'm not going to advocate somebody with anger. If I was going to commit adultery, I would not advocate adultery. You guys are understanding. You're advocating the thing that is putting you in the dirt, that is tearing your soul apart, and you're trying to bring others into that same destruction. That won't go well for you. Feminists, you need to find a man and love him regardless. Love him, because the Lord has commanded you to, and he said it is the blessing. Have children, get knocked up by the man you love, but make him marry you before you let him bang you. Make him marry you. Have worth. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a woman who is married is in society's view much more of a valuable person than a woman who is just letting a guy have sex with her and sleep with her. You guys got to understand, while you're doing that, you're heaping wrath upon yourself, and that man that is doing it to you is reaping wrath upon himself. You guys don't understand. You're just heaping upon heaping upon heaping. And the things you acknowledge and glorify, you might not be gay yourself, but by you advocating for it, because you're advocating for the destruction of children, of God's children, not just little baby children, but because you agree with them and you side with them in their fight, is that this is something natural and something to be embraced, then you also receive the same wrath that they would have. You don't understand. You realize all these liberals, they're wicked, you guys. And it's because your captors have, from a very young age, they have brainwashed you against the truth. And then what they do is that, you don't know where that oppression is coming from, because you're ignorant of God and you're ignorant of His statutes. So, and then you don't want to acknowledge that you have sinned, because you're not even aware that you've sinned. Because what they told you is what you're doing is right and correct, and that you're virtuous for standing up for the things of corruption. You don't understand. The more you seek after destruction, the more you're going to find it. The more oppression you will feel inside yourself. And you won't be able to find where it's coming from unless you acknowledge the Lord. Sorry. You're going to serve. There's only two masters to serve. Whether you're going to serve your flesh and your sin and your guilt and your shame and your fear, or you're going to serve God in righteousness. And righteousness only means, it doesn't mean to be a good person, because then I would never be righteous, because I am not a good person. But righteousness means this comfort with God, this adequacy, this homeostasis, this comfort and at home, the feeling of belonging with the Lord. And this is what your heart is aching for. This is what your soul is aching for. This is what our world is aching for, you guys. So hate me, love me, I don't care, but open your ears and your heart. You know that you feel this pit in yourself, and you want to see what how the litmus test is. Okay, first of all, are you having to medicate yourself just to get by every day? Are you having to do drugs, smoke pot, drink heavily? Are you having to have sex? Are you compulsive in everything you do? Or are you a thrill seeker? Or do you have to get tatted everywhere? Or do you have to, get into some radical religious group? Or do you have to, in order to just get by and to even get some kicks in life anymore, do you have to do things super extreme? See, this marijuana use that people are wanting recreationalized, it's really not good for you, because what it does is marijuana, it takes over. I can't remember the chemical in your brain that causes that happiness, but what it does is that it's not endorphins. It's not. Anyway, you guys will know what it is. But anyway, what it does is it suppresses it in your body. So when you stop smoking, you don't have any joy for a while, until your body starts producing it, and it is suppressed. But because you can't have any joy, and you fall into depression unless you have more marijuana. Okay, just so you know, you don't think clearly, you don't make good decisions when you're on marijuana, you guys. You don't. I know, I've smoked a ton of it. Okay, you don't, and what's happening is that it masks the pain that you're feeling. So they want you to be anesthetized. They want you to be on, antidepressant drugs. They want you to be in alcohol. Did you notice in this COVID thing, the one thing they made sure that was open was alcohol, so that people could get inebriated, so they could medicate and they could cope with what's going on. Well, think about that in your life. What are you using to have to cope? Well, if you're using something to have to cope, then that means that something is wrong, you guys. You wouldn't have to medicate if you weren't injured. If you're homosexual, there's something really bad with you going on. If you're an adulteress, if you're a feminist, if you're an adulterer, or anybody, it doesn't matter who it is. But if you have these things, it's a massive indication there's something wrong in you. If you're led by anger every day, if you're led by fear every day, to where you're angry all the time, that your anger meter is filled all the time, to where you have to get so radical that you can't even have friends anymore, and your family's all been pushed away. Those are big problems inside your soul that you are not aware of. See, you're not understanding what liberty is. So you're so busy searching for the freedoms to do whatever you want, you don't realize what liberty is. And liberty is in your conscience. Liberty is a clean conscience, one that is true to itself, one that is allowed to be free. But the things you do and those wicked deeds, they are contrary to liberty. So you have the freedom to do them, but at the cost of your liberty. So the truth is, you want to maintain a balance of your liberty and your freedom. Okay? But this will only be done through wisdom, and it will only be done when those needs for righteousness are met in you and that God-shaped hole is closed up and filled with Jesus, you guys. Otherwise, you are just a slave, and you will continue to be a slave, and you're going to be fighting for those who enslaved you. And this is the saddest thing, and I mean, I pity people who are subject to their sins because they've been lied to and told that they're good things, where they champion the causes of wickedness, so they enjoin themselves to the wrath and the oppression that they feel. It's unbelievable to me, and I know because I was there. I did the same thing. You know what I mean? I supported abortion even when I already agreed it was murder. I just didn't give any hoots about a baby. I thought we were overpopulated. I don't care. Babies are the most important, beautiful things there is on the earth. Every one of them is a miracle and amazing beyond what you can imagine. I love my children more than the world, and they have not changed one bit since they've come out of the womb. My daughter's laugh is the same laugh as she's had the very second she came out of her womb. Her voice, her mannerisms, the way she moves. It's been her from the very beginning. Her name, she's my baby, and she's been the same since she was born. She was the same inside the womb. To imagine her getting torn apart and ripped apart just for my wife's, so that people don't think she's a whore or for her convenience or whatever it is. Your children in the womb are your children. They're babies. They're precious, you guys. And I'm telling you, you're going to face God someday for this. You better get right with him now. Ask for forgiveness. Ask him to show you what to do. Ask him to help you. Ask him to heal you, because your child is still alive in the arms of the Lord in heaven. You guys understand, you will meet your child again, and your child will have forgiven you by then. But you're going to have to take account for what you did. And a man that has taken his woman to kill his own blood, it's just, you guys got to understand, you have wrath upon wrath heaped upon you. I bet you're wicked in many other ways. So, anyway, you guys, I'm trying not to judge and do this in a way that is pointing fingers at you, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I've been there, and I know what it's like. And you can be free, and the liberty of the Lord is worth way more than your freedom. I mean, and not like, I mean, your freedom to do whatever you want. The liberty is where you're restrained to doing the things of righteousness, which you'll want to do because it makes you feel right. Anyway, all right, my brothers and sisters, hope this helps. And I want you to know that Christ has saved you. I mean, it's done. I don't believe you're going to go to hell for anything you do. I believe that Christ has absolutely forgiven you and saved you. Now you're the one that needs to see it. All right, guys. Don't let these godless people trick you anymore. Don't let them trick you into godless works that produce this bad karma upon you. Maybe that might get through to somebody. This oppression, this feeling of disgust that's constantly all over you all the time. This is not a way to live. This isn't living. So, all right, you guys. Hope you break free. Talk to you soon. Bye.